If the U.S. adopts legislation to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, it is clearly in our interest to assure that the rest of the world acts as well. First of all, in order to be effective in reducing global emissions, we need action by all of the leading emitters, not just the U.S., but the U.S. and Europe and Japan and China and Australia and India and Brazil and Russia. We can't really solve the problem without the rest of the world. Secondly, the more rapidly the whole global economy begins to shift to a low-carbon basis, the more likely we are to succeed in growing our economy by manufacturing the goods and services, doing the innovation that the world will depend on. And thirdly, as long as all nations are reducing emissions, the playing field is level, and we don't have to worry that our industries will be somehow disadvantaged because they're taking steps to reduce emissions and others in other countries are not. I don't think the issue in the negotiations is one of trust. I think the issue in the negotiations is one of action. If the parties find the political will to begin to propose realistic provisions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to effectively verify one another's actions, that can form the basis for trust. The only purpose of the negotiation is to stop global warming and to help countries adapt to the warming that is inevitably occurring. In order to do that, we have to reach an agreement to reduce emissions, especially among the countries that are the major sources of emissions: the United States, Europe, China, India, Brazil, Australia. And we have to have an agreement that assures each of the parties that they can verify that other parties are fulfilling whatever commitments they have made as part of the negotiations. That much, the agreement to reduce emissions and the agreement to verify fulfillment of those commitments, is going to change the world. We also have to fulfill the commitment that we made explicitly and unequivocally in the 1992 Framework Convention on Climate Change to help the poorest nations to adapt to the climate change that's inevitably occurring. That must be part of the agreement. President Obama has been clear since he took office that he wanted the United States to be not only part of, but a leader in creation of an international climate agreement. His representatives in the negotiations have continued to reiterate that position, saying we wanted an agreement that made specific commitments to reduce emissions and to help poor countries adapt. The verification provisions will be important to the United States. I think they will be included, and I think that the U.S. can ratify such an agreement.